the POC first starts looking off at the discovery process, which we run on a separate VLAN, which is 275, and we pre-provision the switch ports on that VLAN. And if we start up the discovery process, we now have the Discover D server running. We bring in our Ironic nodes with their IPMI credentials, and we set their states to manage to allow introspection. We then make the post commands to begin the introspection process on Discover D, and if we look at the server, we can see that both of those posts have been received. We look at our Ironic node list and see that one of the nodes has gone to power on. Checking our KVM switch, we actually see that both of them now are on, 07 and 09. And checking the node list again, both switches are now powered on and hopefully booting up the Discover D RAM disks. Looking at it through the KVM switch and skipping ahead slightly, we can see the DHCP call, and now both Discovery kernel and RAM disk are coming up. And quickly going through, we can see then on both nodes that discovery is happening, and that has happened. If we check our node list, both gone to power off as has happened, and we check on Discover D, that the introspection has happened for both nodes, as you can see highlighted. If we look at our Ironic port list now, we will have ports in, and we can see that the information is there and that we're on port 340 and port 542. Going on to the switch, we can see both of these ports, and they're both still provisioned on the Discovery VLAN. If we set both the nodes to provide to allow us to boot them, show our network list, we have management net, which is on VLAN 270, and we also have the customer net, which is on 271, and we can see both of these networks have been registered on the switch. And then if we try and boot into the customer network using a pre-prepared script, calling a flavor that will use one of our nodes, we create the Nova instance, and we do the same for the management network. If we now look at Nova list, we can see that both are on separate networks, and the node list, they've both been powered on, waiting for the callback. The Neutron ports have been created. They have the same MAC addresses as the Ironic ports, as highlighted. And if we check these ports, we see that Ethernet 340 is there, which is for the management address network, and it is on VLAN 270 as expected, and the native VLAN will allow the Pixie boot to happen. And for the other port, we have Ethernet 542, and looking at that, we can see it has been placed onto VLAN 271 for the customer network. With both nodes booting, we see that the customer network node is booting into the deploy kernel and deploy RAM disk, and we can see from our Ironic node list that that is deploying. In fact, the management node is now active. If we wait for the reboot to happen, we now see that both nodes are in the active state, and both nodes should now be rebooting. Checking Nova, Nova also says they're active, and using our KVM switch, we can see that both nodes are on and that they're booting up to be used. There's node 9, which is booting in, and we can see that it has got to Linux login, and node 7 is also booting up, and it's also got the Linux login and is now available to be used. both nodes are now available on two separate networks.